Hi, I'm Jackie Pillar, neurodivergent non binary truth bomber, and this is Talkist, where we talk about everything and nothing. This is something that we liked to call Nerd Wars. Is all about me and my guest, which today is Sally Goldner. I try and out nerd Sally on something that she is expert on, and I've done a fair bit of research in this space. Hi, Sally, how are you?
I'm pretty good, Jackie. Yourself?
I am well. I am up to the WWE Ready to Rumble. I can't say it as well as you challenge, where I had a little bit of a look at World Wrestling Entertainment, which is something you're quite expert on.
Yes, and it's just visible in the picture, and I'll just sort of lift myself up. You can see my Finn Balor for Everyone t-shirt, which seems highly appropriate with its, if you go and Google this, you'll find it with rainbow colours, which seems appropriate too. So, okay, yes, as Michael Buffer would say, let's get ready to rumble.
You do that so much better than I can, Sally. It's such...
I've got a master's in
a master's in WWE.
Oh, the announcing part. I'm still only an undergrad on all of WWE, but we'll give it our best shot.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so for me, I think one of the things that popped out of me for this is there's so many stereotypes about what WWE is and what the crowd is like and who goes to see World Wrestling Entertainment. And I actually found in my nerd research a study that was done in 2000 that looked at the demographics of people who go to World Wrestling Entertainment all over the world. And I must admit I had some confirmation bias here, to my surprise and pleasant surprise, there's a really wide range of demographics of people who go to WWE. Like from surgeons to street cleaners. There's no one demographic. And I suppose as a fan, as long as you've been, what draws you to WWE? Can you out-nerd me on that one?
Well, look, in my sense then, one is the sense of theatre that's involved in WWE, and that there is this sense of, glamorous costumes and dressing up. That leads into the fact that the crowd is so involved, and when we had the huge moment in 2018 where Dub Dub came to Melbourne and packed out as much as they could, the MCG, with up to 70,000 people. Go back and look for the pictures in the papers there of people who looked exactly like their heroes and heroines to an nth degree, hair colour and the whole thing, the right belt and all those sorts of things. There is a sense of campness at times that attracts me. Also, the fact that here I am as a queer person, I would feel safer going to a WWE event than I would going to, say, an Australian rules men's match, rugby match, men's cricket match, in terms of crowd participation. That leads to the last point, totally appropriate for this segment, that WWE fans are geeks, like IT geeks, Comic-Con geeks, hairdresser geeks, you name it. We're just geeks and we love it. Very quickly, who won the March 1987 Battle Royal on Saturday night's main event? And it wasn't two of the biggest stars at the time who were in the event, being Hulk Hogan, nor was it Andre the Giant.
You've just completely, I'm just failing epically right now.
It was, as the announcer would have said, Hercules Hernandez, who was getting a big push at the time. So I just thought I'd throw that in.
The diversity is really present. The other thing that I found out was that Cyndi Lauper managed in the 80s and then even in the 70s, they were breaking barriers in terms of representing women and what was then gender diversity for the 80s. And Cyndi Lauper managed a female wrestler at that time.
Indeed, Cyndi Lauper managed the very tall but slender Wendy Richter, and that was also and Wendy featured in a match at the first WrestleMania against, well, the fabulous Moolah, who, well, whilst having great longevity, has some infamy, which I think we're best off avoiding. Have a look at her Wikipedia entry, and you'll see. We'll just say what I'm referring to there if you've never been aware of that. So there was an outcry actually a few years ago when there was a possibility of naming a women's battle royal after her. That's how much, sadly, Moolah is sort of now seen in disregard. Who is the former Australian NXT Women's World Champion who's now featuring in WWE?
This is a guess. I'm going to say China.
No, not China. Sadly, China, aka Johnny Laurer, left us a few years ago. It is Rhea Ripley from Adelaide, South Australia, real name Demi Bennett.
Wow.
Held one of the 3 biggest women's belts in World Wrestling Entertainment for a few months at the start of this year, but sadly lost at WrestleMania to Charlotte Flair. We're talking geek.
It just goes to show you my research skills need a bit more wrangling than wrestling. Thank you so much for that, Sally. I think what I like, and one of the purposes of Talkist, is to show the layers of our experience and unpack some stereotypes. So that was a bit of fun. So thank you for being on Talkist. I really appreciate you giving us your time. And we will see you all again in the near future. Thank you.